Okay, it should be live. Hello guys, welcome back to my stream. Today we're going to be going back on Project Urgot, just as we did yesterday, and just creating the UVs, and you guys are going to get to see that process. So let's get right into it, and let me start playing some music, and let's get in the vibe. So I'm going to start out with these pieces first. So because I know these pieces are not clearly visible to us in game, I'm gonna make them quite small. Also, let me know if the music is too loud. It's doing some weird thing here, and that's because I didn't merge these vertices. So let's merge those, and then it should solve that gap there. Camera, there we go. Gone. I'm gonna delete the other side because I'm just gonna duplicate it over. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. So put that in UV layer, and let's do this shoulder armor piece real quick. Ah, I didn't make the underside, so I'm gonna actually do that later. This one I think I did. So we're gonna grab these two pieces, combine them, and let's switch over to the drag and select this underside and make it 1UV shell. Same thing here, and there we go. We have our top two pieces. I need this other side, throw this in the UV layer, and there we go. Oops, that was me there. Let's skip this song. I do have an announcement to make near the end of the stream on what the next project will be. Because I'm thinking to shift gears from what we've been doing and do something more in line with the Christmas season. So more on that later. I'm gonna straighten this shell and then try straighten UVs. Unfold, straighten. There we go. Every single day. Also, I forgot to mention, happy Friday. It's the end of the week. You guys got any plans for the weekend? Drop the pace and roll it and roll. It's perfect. I think I'm going to cut up the spine. Trying to see where there are some potential issues. I know if I unfold the spine, it's not going to really give me all the shapes that I want. So that's why I'm going to have to go in here and actually divide it. And I'm seeing it's showing me where there's some seams already, which is a sign that some of my vertices are not merged. So I'm going in and actually correcting those. Let's see. This should be up here. Same for this one. Then I usually go back here and say camera based again. And that will show me if there's any seams still. So it looks like along these arms, edges of the arms here too. Oh yeah, I think I never finished this draw part. So let's do that. Probably be surprised for most of you to learn that I actually play Seraphine a lot. She's just apparently a really fun champion. You can just bash her face on the keyboard with how much spamming you can do. It's really fun. I wouldn't say I main her, but I definitely am like an avid player, particularly as APC bot lane. She just feels a lot better than most ADCs right now. Do I want to finish this part? Let's do it. Let's do it. A little bit of modeling never hurt anybody. Extrude. Merge this. I think I'm just gonna merge a little bit of the neck here, because how far down this goes. Let me try just. Kind of correcting the silhouette a bit here. Really, when you're modeling, you want pretty much every single vertex to be useful and actually doing something. Otherwise, you're just wasting polygons. I'm just thinking about how those shapes are in different angles. Let's see. Okay. I think that should be good for now. Let's see if we still have any seams. Camera. Should be no seams. Okay, there's some seams here. No problem. Sometimes you don't notice these things, like unmerged vertices, until you start UVing. So it's always good to be mindful that things could be incorrect. So let's do camera based again. Check to see if there's any unmerged vertices. I don't see any. Yeah. I do want to correct this silhouette just a little bit down here, but I'm not going to worry about that just yet. We're going to get back to the UVs here. And I'm going to go ahead and show you guys like what the problem would be if I try to make this whole backside one UV. I'm going to separate out the back from the front. And let's take a look at those UVs. Okay, so this is not terrible. Oh, and it does look like there's a few vertices that are unmerged here. That's another thing. You can also see those in the UV shell. I just merge that. Oops. I have to select it in the 3D view. Okay. Unfold. Going to stack and orient. And that kind of orients the shell at like a 90 degrees. So the problem with this set of UVs is that, like, yeah, it's all one piece, which is nice. But if you look here, you'll see like this part, which is kind of like a focal point, is really small in the UVs. Oh, this is also upside down, I think. Let me see. Yeah. So this spine part here, like compared to like if we look at the back view here, if we think about what are the most important elements that we really want to put the most detail in, and that would be these actual spine pieces. Everything else is kind of like, oh, okay, like, you know, maybe it doesn't need to be too high quality. I mean, there is a lot of detailing, but it's not like as pronounced, I guess. So these red parts are going to be um, huge focal points. Also this part up here. So with the UVs here, you can see just how small those are. The largest parts that have like, which would have like the most texture quality is this chunk right here, which is not what we want. We actually want this to be larger. So we're gonna go ahead and actually separate those pieces out from the actual spine. Hi Nagi, welcome to the stream. He says, big ol' Urgot. Yeah, that's quite the nightmare having to texture like that. Yeah. So I'm gonna go ahead and start separating out these smaller pieces. I have symmetry turned on, and that ensures that I am cutting symmetrically. This vertice, or this face right here, is really small. So I'm going to just merge and get rid of it. Kind of want to keep your faces like pretty large. You don't want to have like teeny tiny polygons. Apparently, and I know about this because I knew about it from my interviews with Riot. They said, there's somebody I was speaking with, I won't say their name, but they said that like really small polygons is not really good for their engine or whatever, because it just, like, it's really hard to render with how small it is. So you want to try and keep things pretty large. I don't really know all the technical stuff, I just know that I heard it, and, you know, obviously, as a game developer, they probably know more about it than me. So, the try count is really important, at least it was in 2014. Yeah. I think nowadays, like, they don't really care as much to make things high poly. Especially if you look at, like, High Noon Leona, I feel like has, like, a lot of polygons. She could probably, like, have used by far less. But I mean, Riot let it through. Like, they were okay with it. So you'll notice a lot of the legendary skins have like a little bit of leeway with how high they can get in poly count. So I think the artists take advantage of that and they try to like make a better silhouette model wise. It's not about like, oh, I have a higher poly count budget, I guess I can just um, be more lazy with the retopology or whatever. But no, you actually want to make sure that you're utilizing all of those new polygons to the best, to work for that silhouette, the in-game silhouette. It's like if I go in and like model, I don't know, Leona's face with like nostrils and everything, people aren't really gonna see that. That's like way too small of a detail to even notice. What is this song? That was the Z theme? I didn't know Z had a theme. In all my years of playing League, I never knew Z had a theme. I actually don't want the cut there. I think what I want to do is cut it like this. I'm looking at my concept because I'm thinking about like those shapes since I can't really see it exactly with the model. Like having an aneurysm. Oh. Okay, screw it. I mean, I guess I'll just cut out these parts then. It's fine. Making sure everything is actually cut and separated. Cool. So let's see if we can cut that out. Yes, we can. So I'm going to extract these faces. And let's take a look at how those, ooh, that is nice. It's just straight line. That's really nice for whenever I want to 2D paint. Let me unfold and see if it gives me something better. I don't think it will. Okay, I mean, you can also go in here and grab all the center center edges, and then straighten edge. So yeah, it looks like it's not going to give me a better result. So I think this was perfect, actually. It looks like a Shisa tube you inhale from. I have no idea what that is. I do remember that Elementus Deluxe crashed the game when multiple people played it in All for One. Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, it's literally like a skin with multiple skins. These UVs I'm going to mirror because they are symmetrical. I'm actually going to merge that part with the main body. Skipping songs here. Ooh, Neela theme. Scuttle Crab says that does look good, not gonna lie. Thank you. So I'm going to mirror these so that way I only have to worry about one side of the UV. It does give me this really jagged edge, which is fine. It makes sense. Shisha is something I remember from when I lived in Malta, smoking water vapors with taste or hash. Oh, hash equals weed, yeah. Yeah, it's like a hookah, I guess. I know that from The Sims. Is she speaking an actual language here in this song? I always wondered. Oh, you don't hear any song? Really? So I'm just singing here by myself? Hello, hello? Okay, hold up. Music. I'm gonna increase the desktop audio. Can you guys hear that now? And is it too loud? Let me know if you can hear that. I'm just out here singing by myself. Can barely hear it? Okay, let me pull it up more. Okay, that should not be louder than me. I'm saying get, and I'm setting all these to the same size. Now it's okay. Okay, thank you. Putting that to a different layer. So because I know the gun's gonna come in here and actually like sit right here, I closed off these faces because I want it to, like, sometimes when the gun moves, well, music's distracting me. Sometimes when the gun moves, you might see a little bit of the inside, so I wanted to make sure that those faces were covered, but also I'm separating that out as a separate UV because I want it to be like super small. It's probably gonna all be like one single color, so it's not really necessary to give it like a high texture quality. Oh, so that's what these are for. Yeah. Lunar V1. And merge those vertices. Kind of adjusting the model as I do the UVs as well. Now that I'm getting a closer look, I'll just part to stick out just a bit more. What is this theme? Season something. Season 8? Season 8 what? Oh. Streaming? Hello, am I back, guys? Uh-oh. Am I back? I should be back. Okay, cool. I don't know what happened. My OBS apparently disconnected. That's cool that I can go back to the stream. I was worried there. Cool. I don't know what happened. That was weird. Switching out songs here. Bro, what is up with these songs? Trying to pick a good one. Okay. So the head does have like quite a bit of complex shapes. I think I actually am going to have his actual face animation face, like the one with all the decal, the red decal stuff here. That's going to be a separate mesh. And I actually already made that. Let me see if I can turn on the texture here. Not letting. Do I have that somewhere? Urgot mask should be Urgot mask. I don't think I do. But anyways, it's like a separate mesh that like sits on top of the actual mask, and that's what's going to be like flipping between different textures. So the one underneath, I could probably just make symmetrical since it is symmetrical. Not have to worry about lowering the texture quality. Something to think about whenever you have mirrored UVs, you basically are doubling the texture quality, which is really good for most cases. Okay, wait, what happened here? Oh, okay. So as I presumed, gotcha. Why is this not connecting? Need to edit mesh and then merge, and then that should connect. Camera, there we go. And I'm not gonna worry about, perfecting those. It will be mirrored later. I'm not gonna worry about it right now. I already did that. Oops. He's not actually gonna have a face mesh underneath, but I thought it would be cool, but it might be too much detail if he also has like some face over it. So let me think here. This is the back, this is the front. Okay. So the head is now separate. I cut that. So I want to make the horns a separate piece as well, since the shape is quite complex. I might cut this up like quite a bit. Okay, I think what I'll actually do is separate the screen. So anywhere the screen would be, it's gonna be separate. Or the glass, I mean. Where's Timo's? There it is. Yeah, something like that. Okay. And here. Here, I guess. Let me bring back the back so I can see what I'm working with. Thinking about where that screen is going to be. Like there, maybe. And then I think I'll bring this back to actually merge with like the back of the head. So I don't actually intend for that to be part of the back. who did this illustrative headpiece. His name is Timo on Twitter. Let me see if I can find him, actually. I do want to shout him out. I did mention it on one of my early streams. I think it was like the first one. Let's see. Timo, right here. Timo628. He also streams. He's a really talented illustrator. Let's see. I asked him to draw Fairy Court Graves and Star Guardian Graves on his stream, and he did like a really nice job of doing that. Let me see if he posted. Yeah, here it was. The icon. Definitely check out his work. Again, that's Timo628 on Twitter. Yeah, he's got great stuff. I'm trying to, okay, so I need to merge these vertices and then sew this part. Okay, there we go. So now this whole piece should be separate. I'm going to extract. Skipping songs here. Goodness. Adjusting topology as I look at it. Okay. This part I want to be separate from the main body. Let's take a look at these UVs. Okay. So when you look at this, like, it looks fine, but something you'll notice is that these are getting like really small. And if we see, we'll see that it's actually like, usually whenever you do a bunch of faces that come up to a point, it'll start doing this really tiny UV for that. So what you need to do is come in here and actually like separate the back part. You can also create a seam that goes down here, like on the edge, and that'll help those UVs. But sometimes I like to separate it into a completely different face. And because these are kind of like interfacing, like they're facing the inside of the model, like it's probably not going to be as high texture resolution, maybe. But you can see it like doesn't have any weird stuff happening now. There is something here I need to look at. Okay, so that's the horn again. I think it just didn't unfold properly when I told it to, so let's do it again. Okay, so it's not gonna listen to me. So that's fine. I guess I'll just separate out this red piece. Thinking about what will be the red pieces. Maybe like this. Need to fix up this topology a bit. There we go. Bit of angularity. It's good. And I guess it'll end right there. So now we have that piece completely separate, and unfold. Unfold this. Cool. That's better. So I can see there's no like really tiny polygons or anything now. That's good. There's this huge gap which kind of bothers me. So maybe what I'll do is separate this, it's barely holding on by a thread, and this part. Okay. Separate those into additional pieces. There we go. So I'm also thinking about like puzzle pieces. These are all puzzle pieces, pretty much. That's another way you should be looking at it. So I'm gonna mirror. And now we have just half the UVs for each one. So this, I believe, is the back of the horn. This is the front. And I'm gonna say get and then set on the textile density. I'm gonna grab this part and kind of see if these all fit together. Kind of like into a square that I can kind of put anywhere. And I think it does. So there we go. That's that. Let's throw that in the UV layer and hide it. Cool. Now we just have this helmet piece. Stack and orient. Cool. I think those are great. Let's throw it in the UV. Now I'm thinking about how I'm gonna approach this. Do I have Mordekaiser's texture somewhere? I do. So looking at Mordekaiser's model, I think he has like a whole, where's like a 3D version? So he kind of has like a rib cage, and you can see a little bit on the inside. And Urgot kind of has like a similar design, but it's open. So trying to look at his UVs, it's probably separated. This part is like probably the inside, I bet. So, but I'm just gonna go ahead and grab this and unfold and see where we might have problems. And just looking at the texture, the concept art, and seeing like, okay, what do I want to be like really high quality texture compared to everything else? So I think the chest, the metal chest piece here, I want to be pretty high quality. This is pretty large, and it's kind of like a main part of his design. So I'm separating out this piece, just like that. Okay, cool. Now his lower body is all one piece. I think I'm happy with those UVs. I think I'm happy with those UVs. So what I'm gonna end up doing is like making this slightly smaller, and then this will be like much larger. But I don't know the size just yet. This piece, I believe, is just leather and it's mostly hidden by the armor pieces on top. So this will be like pretty small because we don't really see much of it. And so that's how I would approach when it comes to size. So let's throw that in the UV. And then this piece did make some changes to it because we did change it up a bit. And I have to figure out like how it opens up because it does open up. Maybe I won't worry about that for now. And we'll just start closing out the hole in here. Oh, actually, wait. Photoshop or Maya does have this like close fill hole, which like automatically fills it up, which is nice. ZBrush also has it, and it actually triangulates the geometry as well. So I'm seeing it's like doing this weird, if I triangulate this, you can see how it's like creating like a block there. I don't want that. So I'm gonna have to add more vertices. Okay, maybe I have to grab from this top part and then merge it down there. Dang, it's all the way over there. Okay, so I can tell these vertices are not merged. We are coming up near the end of this stream in about 10 minutes, but I might extend it like 30 minutes, 30 more minutes, and work on something else just because it's Friday. And I don't really have anything to work on that is that important for right now. I do have an announcement that I want to make at the end of the stream as well for what the next project will be. So cool, whenever I go back and bring up the whole model, you'll see there's actually like a bottom edge there. When you see from different angles, it's not just like empty. And because it's really not that important to see textures on it, it'll most likely be pretty small. So with all the pieces, oh wait, let's try filling up this one as well. Let's see, it's under edit mesh, fill hole, right? Edit mesh, or is it mesh? Fill hole, yes, mesh. Okay, that did a pretty good job. I think I can just triangulate it from here. I don't have to worry about adding like sets of vertices here because I don't think he really moves his arm that much. So it's not that important. So I'm gonna go in here and select the faces. Select the face. Okay, that looks good. Camera based, unfold, and unfold this one as well. For this one, you can see how the little circles are getting kind of small, but it doesn't really matter because they don't really like stick out that much. So I think this makes sense. So that's all one UV sheet. Okay. I'm gonna hide this because I might go back and like actually adjust the mesh later. But our next step in the process, like once we feel like we have all the UVs finished, we start creating the sizes for all those UVs and kind of figuring out like the level of importance texture quality wise for how big those should be. So I remember for the back here, I wanted these UVs to be mirrored, and that's going to help with pretty much doubling the texture quality if we did not mirror it, which is great. This part, I believe I can mirror as well. Because if I bring in, this part is also mirrored, so yeah, this can be mirrored. And what's great about doing UVs and when they're not mirrored, and then you do mirror it, it does like a straight line down here, which makes it a lot easier for when you're fitting pieces into each other. So that's great. This piece here, let's see, where's Timo's illustration? I don't really see it, okay. So the metal chest plate here is asymmetrical, so we're gonna keep that not mirrored. Okay, this part, let's see, I'm trying to figure out if I mirror this over, just how much are we going to see of it. 0.01. Looking at this part, I think I can mirror it. Yeah. So we can mirror that. Extract faces and mirror. Okay. And that is that straight line that we're looking for. Cool. For the back is already mirrored. However, I'm just now seeing that maybe I want, let's see, I want this part to be like lower texture quality. It's not as important as the actual metal. Let's look at his back. I think this is all leather. So, because most of the leather is kind of hidden underneath armor or metal pieces, then I don't think it's really as important for the overall skin to really show what that looks like. The skin has a lot of overlapping pieces, so. I don't know if this is supposed to be metal. Let me look at the whole model. I don't think it is. So we're good there. So I'm going to delete one side. This part here is supposed to be metal. We're figuring out, just tracing where that would be. This vertex is not supposed to be there. I'm gonna merge it down. Okay. From the top-down angle, this polygon is not really doing anything, so I'm gonna just push it over like that. So now it actually is helping with the silhouette. And just kind of adjusting. this as well. Okay, cool. So that should be separate. I'm gonna make that its own UV. This, unfold. Cool. I'm gonna extract these faces and mirror them. Combine and mirror. 0.01. Cool. So just looking at everything that's UV'd. Okay. Great. So after everything's UV'd, it's gonna be a huge mess. And sometimes you can go in here and say layout UV, and that'll kind of lay everything out so you can see what's happening. But if you have mirrored UVs, it'll actually like set them next to each other instead of on top of each other, which is not good because that makes it look like we have like a lot more UVs that we need to make space for, and we don't. So I'm gonna grab all of the helmet UVs. I'm in UV shell selection mode. I'm just grabbing all of the head. Looks like I need to cap this. Just grabbing all that, dragging it over, and let's set all this to the same size. So for the helmets, it has this kind of hologram texture to it. So I might make it kind of large to make sure we can see that. And where's my, okay, this is my UV. You can also click this button and it'll just automatically snap it to the top left of the UV sheet. So that might be pretty large. We'll set it to that size for now. This is the main metal part, which has a lot of details, so that's going to be important to really show. I'm going to flip it upside down, kind of fit it in there. What is this? This is the back piece, which is metal, I believe. Yes. I think I want that to be the same size. Looking at Mordekaiser, all of the red pieces are kind of small. If I look at the concept, like it doesn't really have that much detail. It's just kind of like red. So these can be, the actual horn can be a lot smaller. Make sure we're selecting the correct UV shells, and we'll make that slightly smaller. And I can hit this get button to see, okay, so this is a size of 3, and then the horns are a size of 2. So if I want to make the horns like half that size, if I'm going from 3, it'll be 1.5. And so I can type in 1.5, or I can just like roughly guesstimate. But I'm not sure if I want it to be this small, because it is on the top half of the model, and this is like the closest to us as viewers from the top-down perspective. And I might want to add some extra detail. Generally, you want like the top part of the model to be a lot more detail, higher value, contrast, wider color range as well, than the lower half of the model. What am I doing? I'm autopiling. Okay, and I want to take his armor plate here, which I want to be pretty big. Figure out what size to make that. So right now I'm making it the same size as the helmet. The helmet I actually want to make a little bit smaller because I really don't think the screen is that important. The metal pieces of it are, but the metal screen, or the screen, like the actual glass, is going to be covered up by like this whole face here. So I'm just kind of like trying to fit this puzzle piece in here. This is kind of giving me a hard time with that tail, so I might cut it. Let's see where that is. Is it really right there? What's this? Ah. So these need to be sewn together. Okay. I'm going to remirror these again. Extract. Okay, let me try unfolding again, see if it gives me a better shape, and it doesn't. Well, just right here. So I'm gonna unfold just that specific section. Okay. It's kind of an awkward shape. Let me try flipping it. Maybe this will work better. Okay. And try to fill up the space there. That's fine. Something like that. And we'll make this a bit smaller. Kind of looking at Mordekaiser, I can see that his chest plate here is pretty small. I believe that's what it is. But obviously for Urgot, like, he has a lot that we're gonna try and cram into his one texture sheet. I mean, he has the legs as well, which I might need to pull up and see what those UVs look like. This whole piece here is gonna be gone. I'm gonna do something else for that. So I'm gonna have those pistons or whatever it is. Okay. And I want to see how these leg UVs look. Okay, so they kind of cover up the whole right side a bit. So I'm gonna combine. Make sure that we are honoring those UVs and we're not overlapping them. I want to make this spine the same size as the chest plate because it's equally as important. What is this UV? So that UV is a part of the leg. I do not want to overlap that. And these UVs, for Urgot specifically, because he has so much on his texture sheet, I actually did it across 2 texture sheets. So it's actually like this, so it's kind of stretched. So this would be like the normal size, but I compress it all into one UV square, so that way I can basically combine a texture sheet like, let me pull up his, actually, let me see, what's it called? Cyberpunk Urgot. Is this it? Yes, space Urgot. So you can see, like, it's kind of basically two texture sheets combined into one big one. And they do this for Urgot. They also do it for Braum. I think they should have done it with Graves as well, but I don't think they did. But you can see how this is all just like one big texture sheet. And the size of it is, right now it's 22K, but it would be 1024 by 512. So, and that makes sense for, like, if you want to keep that texture quality able to run in game. So what I'll do pretty much is just like pretend like I'm just doing one UV square, and then I will shrink it all into like two in a way. So hopefully that makes sense, but Urgot is a bit complicated because of how much he has going on. Let's mirror this part over. So this is the big shoulder piece. It's this part, so we want to make that pretty large. For now, I'll make it the same size as the chest plate, but it's most likely going to be a bit smaller maybe. So we'll leave that at that size for now. I think it's definitely too big, but we're not worried about that right now. I'll wrap up the stream here in about 10 minutes. I'm not going to go like 2 hours completely. I'm going to make these smaller. The inside piece needs to be like super small because we really don't see that. It's not really a priority. And this is kind of applying like what I told you guys about yesterday with Fairy Court Callista. Making the parts that we don't really see as clearly from different angles significantly smaller. It looks like these need to be sewn together. Try and flip it this way. This part has the red triangle. So I'm going to orient the VV, make sure it's at like 90 degrees. Doesn't seem completely straight. So I'm going to go in here and straighten the edge straight down the middle. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. Hand UVs, let's see. This arm is very important, so we want to make that pretty large. Excuse me. So I want all this to be the same size. Oh, the chat just updated. I didn't realize you guys were talking so much. I like how he explains what's going on. Thank you, Scuttlecrab. Chendian, hi, welcome to the stream. Nice concept. Does he already weighted the whole thing? No, I haven't weighted the model just yet. I'm just doing UVs. I'm still in the modeling process. I will show you guys the waiting process, I guess, if you're interested. That part is pretty grueling, to be honest, especially for Urgot because he has like really complex stuff happening. But I will wrap up the stream here in about 5 minutes. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask. I won't be streaming over the weekend. I prefer not to, but I will on Monday. So this UV, not important, so let's make it really small. These UVs are very important because Timo, I believe, did put quite a bit of detail. It's not too rich in detail, but it is a pretty significant part to his design. Take a sip of water. Okay. So I'm gonna make this the same size as the chest plate for now. The chest plate is kind of like my golden star for like what would be the highest texture quality in terms of scale. So I'm kind of using that as like a basis to decide everything else. I'm trying my best to stick to the left side of this UV sheet because most of the leg is on the right side. So this is the leather piece. Excuse me, sorry. I'm getting the burps now. This is a leather piece. It's not as important to really emphasize. So I'm gonna make it small. Where am I gonna fit this? Flip it? Right there? Yeah. Okay. And this part I think is important because of how much we see of it. I'm looking at different angles. We do see quite a bit of that, so I'm gonna make it relatively large. In theory, this would be the exact same size as well. I think I'll make it the same size just for now. So where is that piece actually? Here. I'm just gonna throw that somewhere where it fits. I kind of like to keep things that make sense to be together, like close to each other. So like the arms are gonna be pretty close to each other. The hands, the legs, and the feet, you know, if they're not mirrored, but they're kind of like the same part of the body. Which part is this? Okay, this is the whole stomach area, so this is relatively important, especially this part. So I'm going to make it the same size as the chest plate. I'm trying to see like, okay, where does it get like really small? It doesn't get pretty small, so I'll make it just a tiny bit smaller than the chest plate because it does have this big piece overlapping. But yeah, so I think that's enough UVing for today. You can see how much progress we made. We're able to kind of puzzle piece everything together. I still have to do the base part. I need to kind of finish up the model on that part. I also need to finish up the gun. Let me take off the UV view. I did some modeling off stream to kind of get it where it needed to be. So where's that reference? It's almost there, but not completed just yet. And then we'll do UVs for that as well. I'll probably do that off stream because you guys are probably tired of seeing me doing UVs. But we'll see. We'll see. If you guys are interested, I mean, let me know in the comments. But yeah. So that's it. For Monday, I'm going to be streaming again. And I'm actually going to shift gears from Red Card Katarina and work on Sleigh Bell Katarina. Because, you know, it's the Christmas season. We're thinking about celebrating Christmas, you know, opening presents, being with family. And so you can see I actually made a concept for that. I'm not sure about the blonde hair. Her original concept did have blonde hair. I can show you guys here. If I search up, let's see. Ooh, what is that called? Shoot. Katarina ASU. Her original concept does give her blonde hair. So I was like, maybe we should kind of respect the old concept and kind of bring that back. Because I feel like it is better contrast against her red dress. But I could go back to the ginger. I didn't really like the ginger too much when I did it in my Photoshop concepts. Let me pull it up real quick. I'm not sure about orange or blonde, whatever. You guys can let me know your preference. I do want to make her have blonde hair on her mercenary skin, or like sort of like a platinum kind of color, because we are thinking to rework that design into something that's more into the RPG skin line, the one with Blackwood Talon, Lumini Shield Taric, and Pickpocket Twitch, I believe, or it might be something else. But yeah, that skin line, we're thinking to put her in that. I'm gonna have a concept artist working up a concept for that. I don't know if I should announce his name yet. Maybe not. Maybe not till next year because he said he won't be available until then. So yeah, that's what I have planned for Mercenary at least. But yeah, we're gonna be working on Sabel on Monday. I might do a little bit of ZBrush modeling off stream for this one because I've kind of been showing you guys a lot of ZBrush and haven't really. I want to push these models like into the texturing phase because I feel like that's probably what's the most entertaining for you guys. Figuring out my design choices there. Chendian, he said, can you use a single UV for mirrored parts? Yes, you can. You can, if you feel like. So what's important about mirrored UVs is that you basically can double the texture quality. If you have them laid out without being mirrored, then you're kind of like halving the texture quality. But you also have to think about like any armor pieces that are overlapping on top of that that are asymmetrical, and how having symmetrical UVs might not really benefit the texture there, because you want to be able to showcase, you know, the shadow coming from that armor piece or whatever. But yeah, that's what I have planned for Monday. Thank you guys for watching the stream and helping me give company and whatnot. Happy Friday. I hope you all have a great weekend. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the notification bell if you want to be notified for whenever my streams are coming. And yeah, that's it for today. So, bye. Thank you all. End stream.